Okay, here is January 2015, and number 7 says the inequality 7 minus 2/3 x is less than x minus 8 is equivalent to one of the following inequalities. So what you're going to do is you're going to have this inequality, and to solve for x, you first need to get rid of this fraction. So when you see a fraction, you have to think LCD. The only denominator that you have is 3. So in this case, your least common denominator has to be 3. So what you're going to do is multiply every term by 3. And when you do that, you'll have 21 minus, so this is 3 divided by 3 is 1, so that cancels, and you're left with a 2x is less than 3x minus 24. So the next step is to get the x's on one side. So if I subtract 3x, I like to have my x's on the left, because that's where they're going to end up with anyways. And in the same step, I can subtract 21 from both sides. So I'm left with negative 5x is less than negative 45. My last step to get x alone is divide by a negative 5. And because I'm dividing by a negative, I have to flip the inequality, so now it becomes a greater than, and it will be x is greater than 9, which is choice 1. Number 25, Miss Fox asked her class, is the sum of 4.2 and radical 2 rational or irrational? Patrick answered the sum would be irrational. State whether Patrick is correct or incorrect and justify your reasoning. So what you need to know here is that sum means to add. So what you're going to do is take 4.2 and add it to radical 2. And when you type that into your calculator, you will end up with a decimal 5.61421, and the number just keeps on going. So, state whether Patrick is correct or incorrect. Patrick would be correct because an irrational number is non-repeating and a non-terminating decimal. And the word non-terminating means that it just doesn't end. Okay, non-repeating, it obviously does not repeat itself. So this 4.2 plus radical 2 is a decimal that does not repeat and it doesn't end, so it has to be irrational. That's why Patrick is correct. 26. The school newspaper surveyed the student body for an article about club membership. The table below shows the number of students in each grade level who belong to one or more clubs. If there are 180 students in the 9th grade, what percentage of the 9th grade students belong to more than one club? Okay, so since we're only talking about the 9th grade, we only need to refer to this 9th grade row. And there are 180 students in the 9th grade. So that's going to be our total. That's going to be our denominator. So the part, the numerator that we're going to have, is only going to deal with students that are in more than one club. So more than one club in the 9th grade would be students that are in the 2 clubs or 3 or more clubs. So that's going to be our 33 and our 12. So if we take our 33 and we add 12, you will end up with an answer of 45. So your fraction is going to be 45 over 180. And if you type this into your calculator, you'll end up with a decimal of 0.25. So as a percentage, your percentage would then be 25%. That is your answer That is the number of ninth grade students who belong to more than one club. Number 27, a function is shown in the table below. If included in the table, which ordered pair, -4, 1, or 1, -4 would result in a relation that is no longer a function, and explain your answer. Well, the answer is going to be -4, 1, and this is because a function cannot have repeating domain values. And when I say domain values, what I'm referring to are my x values. So ultimately, you can't have a point that has the same x value going to two different y's. Okay, it would be no longer a function if you have repeating x values. Okay, the last one, number 28, subtract 5x squared plus 2x minus 11 from 3x squared plus 8x minus 7. What you need to know here is that subtract would be second, that's the term that's second, and from will be first. So think f and from, f and first, subtract s, second s. So what you're going to start with is the first, and that's going to be the 3x squared plus 8x minus 7. And you're subtracting this 5x squared plus 2x minus 11. And there's a reason I put this all in parentheses. This subtraction is happening to everything inside the parentheses. So you could also think of it as really a -1 that is just distributing to each term here. Okay, so 3x squared minus 5x squared is going to be a -2x squared. 8x minus 2x will give us a positive 6x, and -7 minus -11 is going to turn into a positive 4, and this is our final answer that we can box in.